What's up? What's up? This is Jeff from BKJMAC TV, and this is the BKJMAC podcast experience coming live from the main streets of Brooklyn. Can you hear me? All right, Brooklyn. This is season 3, episode 12, and today we're going to be talking about Nights of Champion. This is a look back at the events from Night of Champions, WWE Night of Champions. It's an annual pay-per-view that comes once a year, and this one was from Saudi Arabia. Yes, Saudi Arabia. I'm not a big fan of Saudi Arabia because it's blood money. Anything that comes from there is blood money. I will say they were responsible for 9/11, so I will say that I'm not a big supporter of that country and their government and the lack of accountability. Excuse me. So it is what it is. That's how I feel about the country. But aside from that, the spectacle, the WWE spectacle, it was amazing to watch. They crowned a new world champion, Seth Rollins. He is the new world champion. He had a great match with AJ Styles. You could feel like the company was really pushing Seth Rollins to be the first ever new world champion, so they wanted him to win. It was a very interesting, high-flying, dynamic matchup between the two. And if you look at the matchup between Brock Lesnar and my man, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes had already won the first match, so the second match, the Brock Lesnar was not going to lose, and it's what happened. Brock Lesnar was able to basically take out Cody Rhodes to the point where he passed out from the pain, and the referee called the match in favor of Brock Lesnar. It was interesting. If you look at the other match, Sami Zayn and his tag team partner Kevin Owens taking on the Bloodline for the tag team titles. Remember, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens had won the tag team championships at WrestleMania by defeating Jey and Jimmy Uso for the titles. Now, Roman Reigns, who said that he skipped Backlash, said that he was pissed off and that he was going to regain the tag team title belt back and bring it back to the Bloodline. But Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens had other plans, and eventually the match was up and down with some missed spots but some strong hits, and eventually the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were able to regain the tag team titles with help from the Usos, because the Usos meant to help the Bloodline, but things were getting discombobulated and some kicks were thrown, and basically Jey kicked Roman Reigns and basically was one strike into the ending of the Bloodline. And Jimmy eventually, on an episode of SmackDown, would kick Roman Reigns in the face, thus succeeding from the Bloodline, leaving Sokoa and the Wise Man next to Roman Reigns. At this point, I don't know how long WWE is going to ride Roman Reigns as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Frankly, I'm going to say this right now. I don't like the Universal Championship. I see the concept what they were trying to do, but I'm not a big fan of the so-called Universal Championship. And they might as well just make Roman Reigns the WWE Champion, because they brought back the World Championship. There's a reason why they brought back the World Championship, because it has more prestige. World Champion over Universal Champion. Honestly, let's be real. So I think eventually WWE should phase out the Universal part and just basically keep it as the WWE champion. And I noticed Roman Reigns, when he was handed the new WWE championship, he didn't even make his way into the ring with it. He basically still had the old belts and he's been carrying it around. That lets you know that he's not a big fan of the new design. Probably, who knows? I'm just speculating here. The women's championship match which was an instant classic. I must say it was an instant classic. Let's see, Bianca Belair. I did not expect her to lose the women's championship. I believe she was strongly invincible. I felt like the brand was really riding behind her. She's been a fantastic champion at this point. I was shell shocked that Bianca Belair lost her title to Asaki with the mist going into her eyes. I thought WWE was going to do something different, but hey, it is what it is. And she won and she's the new women's champion. And Bianca Belair, I don't know if she'll get a rematch, but Charlotte Flair is in the mix now, and she wants her title shot against a new women's champion. And Bianca Belair is like, not before she gets her title shot. Overall, this has been an interesting story. It has gone back and forth tremendously, and we will definitely see. But there's something I want to mention. I did not like the way the women looked at the Night of Champions. They had to cover up completely. They couldn't be themselves, and they were so restricted with that costume. I saw Trish Stratus wrestle. It was just so I just don't know. Why wrestle? Why even wrestle out there knowing the fact that they have these views about women? But that's why I can't wait until the next show, which is going to be in London, is going to allow the women wrestlers to be themselves, be natural who they are, instead of being restricted and hiding behind an army of clothes. WWE is about expression. It's about stunts and coordination and expression. And I think Saudi Arabia, they just limited them. It's not fair that the men could do whatever they want, but women, they had to be extremely in a restrictive way, restrictive clothing. They couldn't really be themselves. And I felt like that took away the element of those women's matches, women's championship matches, and single matches. Honestly, that's my thought on the matter. Overall, I enjoyed the Night of Champions. I like the fact that it came on so early. It came on like 12 in the afternoon because they had to match it in Saudi Arabia's timeline. So it was interesting. So you had to catch it and be there and don't miss it. So looking overall, the pay-per-view was interesting. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. I didn't enjoy certain moments of it, but it's WWE, and Vince McMahon no longer owns majority share. He owns 49%, and the sports company who owns UFC now owns WWE. So let's see what happens with the pay-per-views. Do they keep it on Saturdays, or do they move it back on Sundays? Let's see what happens. But Night of Champions, it is what it is. It is now in the books, and Triple H is leading the show both in the creative department. Let's see what he does. Thank you for listening to this episode of the BKJMAC podcast. Peace, love, always one.